This year, we decided to go to Canadian Rockies and Glacier trip. Our tour started in caravan bus from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. As we left the city, bright yellow fields of canola and windmills rotating with wind lined up the road. First stop was Buffalo Jump, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They are natural cliffs early settlers used as they led the buffalo herds to jump from the cliffs. The First Nations people's cultural heritage film was shown on the importance of the buffalo for food as they stored it for harsh winter times. All parts of buffalo were used to make many other useful things. Did you notice groundhog? It is also called woodchuck. Kingbird was also sitting on the nearby tree. We traveled through this cowboy country with farms, cows, horses, and buffaloes grazing in the fields. Beautiful and serene scenery changes from rolling prairies to Canadian Rockies with rows and rows of mountains, glaciers, lakes, rivers, and ponds all along the trip. Waterton village is on the lake. We had picnic lunch sitting near the Waterton Lake surrounded by mountains. Animals freely roam in the village around the lake. Can you see mule deer? Come, let's go on a cruise on Waterton Lake. Waterton Lake National Park is the world's first international peace park combined with Glacier Park in Montana, USA. We can see that the scenery is so breathtaking. Deep blue and turquoise alpine lakes. The Upper Waterton Lake is the deepest lake in the Canadian Rockies at 135 meters, that is 444 feet. At Waterton Lakes National Park, yearly temperatures typically range from an extreme low of minus 40 degrees centigrade, minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit in winter, to high of 35 degrees or 94 degrees Fahrenheit in summer. When we visited, it was warm, or shall I say a hot day. But the water temperature of the Waterton Lakes in the summer is typically cold, ranging from 10 degrees to 15 degrees centigrade. That is 50 degrees to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not recommended for swimming. We can see the international boundary of the Peace Park, thin line with clear trees on the mountains in the thick forest. As the cruise ship went ahead, the deepest Waterton Lake in Canada, surrounded by rows and rows of mountains. Spectacular grandeur everywhere you look. We could see some glacier peaks far away where snow never melts. In the scenic Waterton village itself, there is a very accessible, beautiful Cameroon waterfall. Wildflowers were blooming as it was mid July. We also visited Kootenai Brown Pioneer Village, which takes you to show the life in the olden times with historical displays in Pincher Creek. There's a story about the name Pincher Creek. In 1868, early settlers traveling through the region dropped or lost their valuable tool, pincher, which was used for removing horseshoes and for other multiple purposes. In 1874, members of the Northwest Mounted Police stumbled upon the old rusting metal pincher resting in the creek bed, and that's how they named it Pincher Creek. is Chief Mountain. For generations to indigenous tribes, Chief Mountain has been one of the most sacred places for the Blackfeet people as a site of prayer, fasting, and healing. Going to the Sun Road, we cross the border into Montana, USA again to see the Glacier National Park. The St. Mary's Valley is formed by the ancient Ice Age glaciers that carved out the deep U shaped valley. We stopped at the scenic spot called Wild Goose Island. It is a tiny 10 to 14 feet above water, tree covered islet in the middle of the St. Mary's Lake in the Glacier National Park, Montana. It has a backdrop of towering alpine mountains and is one of the park's most iconic and photographed vistas. There is a Montana folklore story about the Wild Goose Island. Two young lovers from rival tribes met secretly on this tiny island. When their tribes persuaded them to stop their union, they ran away. Seeing their true love, the Great Spirit turned them into geese so they could fly away and stay together. To see Glacier National Park, it is just like Switzerland. We had to go in special vehicles called the Red Jammers. Those are restored vintage touring coaches from 1930s. We went up the elevation of 6,647 feet to Logan Pass by going to the Sun Road near the Continental Divide. A glacier is defined as a mass of ice so big that it flows under its own weight. It is an area of zero point 0.1 kilometers square, which is about 25 acres. Below this size, the ice is less likely to move and is not considered a glacier. There were 80 glaciers in 1850. In 1966, there were 35 glaciers. Based on aerial imagery from 2025, there are only 26 named glaciers that met the size criteria of zero point 0.1 kilometers square. They are reducing at an alarming rate. Named glaciers that are monitored by the US Geological Survey, the park also hosts several unnamed glaciers, about a dozen rock glaciers, and many snowfields. We got to see mountain goat, bighorn sheep, and grizzly bears. We had delicious cookies and coffee at a Bar U Ranch, a National Historic Site. From the bus, we saw there was a rodeo going on nearby. We had a picnic lunch at beautiful Kananaskis Valley. This is the place where G7 was held in 2025. Park along the road as we traveled, we saw beautiful wildflowers called Indian paintbrush. It is a striking group of roughly 200 wildflower species native primarily to western North America. They are renowned for their fairy brush like spires that add vivid splashes of red, orange, pink, or yellow to open prairies and high alpine meadows. The flowers are actually leaves. The true flowers of the plant are actually very small, inconspicuous green tubes. The dazzling intense color comes from the bracts, modified leaves that surround the flower and look as if they were dipped in paint. It is a parasitic plant and it sucks nutrients from the shrubs nearby. Now we are crossing the Bow River to go to Banff National Park for a gondola ride. It takes you to the summit of the Sulphur Mountain for a spectacular panoramic view of six mountain ranges. It was a little misty that day, so the view was not very clear. Now we are on the top of Sulphur Mountain summit, which is 7,486 feet. Enjoy the 360-degree bird's eye view of the Rockies, the Bow Valley, and the town of Banff from the top. In the Cascade Mountain, there is a Cascades of Time garden next to Banff Avenue. In the bustling Banff, surrounded by mountains, it is a serene, peaceful, and very well designed and manicured garden. We went in mid-July. Garden was in full bloom with all kinds of perennial varieties of flowers, arches of stones and rocks around the flowers, and cascading water flowing in the ponds in the series of steps. It was a cheerful morning, and it felt like beauty was unfolding its treasures as we went along the cascading arched pathways. It felt heavenly. On the Banff Avenue near Cascade Garden is the best photo spot to get a postcard like photo of Cascade Mountain. Next stop was a float ride on guided raft tour on the scenic Bow River. In Banff, scenic Bow River flows near the town. We went on a slow and peaceful float boat ride. Float ride started near the Bow Falls. It is a gentle, scenic experience on a glacier fed turquoise or clear green water. Surrounded by wonderful mountains, we were peacefully gliding, soaking in the beautiful surroundings. Calm, easygoing current, excellent views of Sleeping Buffalo Cascade and Rundle Mountains. The nature is fantastic. Cameras cannot fully capture what your eyes can see, the dramatic scenery as we float by. Let me tell you about the special rock formation due to active glacier erosion on sedimentary rock called hoodoes, seen on the Bow River and surrounding area. They are eroded, fragile rock pillars 5 to 7 meters. Hoodoes. Indigenous people thought of hoodoes with deep spiritual significance, tied to natural earth forces. They are viewed as sacred, living presences, as petrified giants, ancient beings, or supernatural guardians frozen in time to watch over the valley and warn travelers of danger. Banff National Park has pioneering network of 48 wildlife overpasses and underpasses along the Trans-Canada Highway. Built since 1980s, these vegetated bridges and tunnels paired with high tensile fencing have successfully reduced wildlife vehicles collisions by over 80% overall and up to 96% for deer and elk. Turquoise colored Peato Lake in Banff National Park, Alberta, Canada, is famous for its bright turquoise blue water, wolf like shape, and stunning mountain backdrop. The turquoise color Peto Lake is caused by the light reflecting off fine particles of rock called rock flour, suspended in the water as glacier water flows through them. When sunlight hits the water, these suspended particles absorb shorter wavelengths of light, like purple and blues, and scatter the distinct bright turquoise and teal wavelengths back to your eyes. The color is most intense in July and August, when glacier melt is at its highest and the lake is fully fed with the fresh rock flour. Changing hues, the shades shifts throughout the season, moving from deep blue green in June to milky neon turquoise by late summer as the settlement concentration peaks. We were very excited as we went for the unique experience of walking on the glacier fields of Athabasca Glacier. It is the largest ice field in the Canadian Rockies. It is the surviving remnant of the thick mass of ice that mantled most of the western Canada's mountains. To go near the Columbian ice fields of Athabasca Glacier to walk, we had to ride on an all terrain ice explorer. We walked on the ice fields very near where the glacier was. The Athabasca Glacier is famous, highly accessible river of ice, part of Columbia Icefield, and located in the Jasper National Park along the Icefields Parkway in Alberta, Canada. It is about 6 kilometers long, up to 300 meters thick, and retreats by roughly 5 meters each year. It is alarming to know that this glacier is losing depth at 5 meters per year and has receded over 1.5 kilometers in the last 125 years. The Athabasca Glacier has experienced significant glacier recession due to increased temperatures and lack of snowfall in recent years. Banff is a resort town bustling with visitors located within the Banff National Park. It serves as a vibrant alpine commercial and cultural hub for millions of global visitors. Pedestrian friendly downtown supported by the Rome Public Transit. On Bank Avenue, there are many hotels, restaurants, art galleries, souvenir shops, and boutiques. All along the roads of hotels, there have beautiful landscapes of flowers, colorful hanging baskets of flowers. With so much hustle and bustle, but it is surrounded by natural beauty, peaks of Mount Cascade, cascades of Time Garden, Mount Rundle, and part of Rocky Mountains in the backdrop. There are walking trails nearby for Tunnel Mountain, Bow River Loop, Bow Falls, and the Banff Gondola on Sulphur Mountain. It is amazing. Just within 10 minutes of walk on the trail, and you can start experiencing the natural beauty of the surroundings. This morning, we are off to see the Lake Moraine in the Valley of Ten Peaks and Lake Louise. On the way, each turn the magic unfolds. Just soak in the beauty of the dense alpine forest, winding roads with glimpses of snow laden mountains, flowing streams, and rivers. Moraine Lake is a snow and glacially fed alpine lake in Banff National Park. The lake has a surface area of 50 hectares. It has brilliant, intense turquoise water and a dramatic mountain backdrop. It sits at an elevation of 1,884 meters, that is 6,181 feet. The lake is accessible only during the summer and early autumn months. Lake Louise is a world famous glacier lake located within Banff National Park in Alberta, Canada. Renowned for its vivid turquoise water and dramatic backdrop of Mount Victoria and the Victoria Glacier. It is one of the most photographed and visited natural destinations in North America. In the afternoon, we went on a trail to Bow Falls. The trail started near our hotel in Banff and it was scenic route around the Bow River. Bow Falls are cascading falls as they come down in steps into the Bow River. I took lots of photos along the trail. We really enjoyed the leisurely walk for 2 hours. On our way to Bow Falls, we saw Canadian magpie, black-billed magpie, a striking, highly intelligent bird in the crow family. It is found in the western and central Canada. It has a loud chatter, long tail, and a bold black and white feathers, jet black body with contrasting bright white belly and shoulder patches, plus metallic blue green gloss on the wings and the tail. It is interesting to know that they have high level of problem solving intelligence. Canadian magpies have a complex cognitive trait, the ability to remember human faces and pass down recognition across generations. Who knows? Maybe this magpie or our babies will remember my face if I visit Banff again. The last morning of the tour, we visited Two Jacks Lake and Lake Minnewanka. Two Jacks Lake is a scenic emerald green mountain lake located just about 15 minutes drive from Banff along the Lake Minnewanka Scenic Drive, famous for its iconic mirror reflections of Mount Rundle. Minnewanka is the largest lake, 13 miles long and 466 feet deep, in Banff National Park. It is a glacier fed, ringed by mountains, and named Minnewaukee Lake of Spirits by the early settlers, Tony Nakoda, who considered it home to powerful spirits. In 1941, the real town Minnewanka Landing went under the water as the dam raised water levels above 100 feet. From our hotel, we could see the Cascade Mountain. This was the bus in which we traveled. We again went on the serene and beautiful Bow River Trail near our hotel. Then back to Calgary, had a tour of downtown by bus. In the morning, went to airport and back to USA.